Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the
Powered by
Ash Gracie
Riverside FM.
podcast. I hope you all had a wonderful spring break. On my end, it was very insightful, and there are a few takeaways that I was able to get from the events that happened over the past couple of weeks. For a little bit of context, I worked on some projects here in LA for a little bit and then went up to Toronto, Canada to spend some time with my cousin who's currently living there. And I think coming into senior spring, I feel like there's a lot of pressure from a number of outside places, society, other people, etc., to have things figured out by a certain age or a certain time of your life. I feel like this is a constant and a common thought that a lot of people have at many different points in life. And so I wanted to kind of talk through it and talk through my thought process in regards to that. I think that a big part of growing up that a lot of people don't tend to think about is that as people, we're not just growing up and I guess growing differently, but we're growing individually as human beings. And we're all slowly coming to a point where we all have different goals and desires, and we're all starting to work on those things. As children and teenagers, a lot of us are on the same life path for a long time. Primary school, middle school, high school, university, and so on. There's like a general trajectory of what our lives should look like. And for a lot of our lives, they do look like them because the control of our lives is not really in our hands yet. It's mostly in the hands of our parents and our families and the people who raise us. And so we end up doing what society kind of encourages us to. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But when you've been on the same life path with people you know and your friends for a while, it's very easy to get caught up into thinking that you're going to be on the same life path forever. Because there are moments that you'll have with the people around you in your current phase of life, and you'll wish that you were on the same path for longer. And I think that that's a very interesting kind of aspect of it in the sense that you want to immortalize this time that you have with each other. But once you graduate high school, there seems to be the first split where everyone you know goes into slightly different directions. Still university for the most part, but in different cities, states, or even countries. A lot of people are planning to move to a new place, study something a lot more focused than they did in high school, be surrounded by new people. All of those like small things that kind of add up to kind of fill a new chapter in life. And it's the first time a lot of people are experiencing a brand new chapter in life because it's the first time that you've had space from what you've known and the people that you've known and the place you've known and the lifestyle that you've known for so long. And so it's definitely very interesting to look at the way that people shift after high school and when people are like, oh, there's actually so many different options of what you can do. But even further than that, the kind of coming up towards the end of my college career, I've realized that the paths that everyone diverges onto at this point in life are so much more different than the ones when I was graduating high school. It's definitely something that can be very scary, but it can also be very interesting at the same time. And I think that while a lot of us are in this boat of not knowing what's going to come next and kind of unsure about the future, I think it's going to be very interesting to see where everyone goes and what everyone does. Some people may choose to go to grad school. Some people may choose to look for work right away. Some may stay in the city went to college in, some may move back to their hometown, and others may decide to move somewhere new. Some may get a job in the field that their degree was in, and others may not. And it's in all of these differences and these choices is knowing that all of these choices and life paths are okay and none of them are wrong. There no longer is a wrong answer to how you want to live your life and the path that you choose to take. There's also no set timeline for when anything needs to happen. Graduating from undergrad, finding a job, going to grad school, none of these things have to happen at a certain age. They can happen when you're ready for them to happen. And so it's very interesting to see the way that everyone does their own path. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard the quote, comparison is the thief of joy. And while I love that, while it's such a lovely reminder that you shouldn't really be comparing because it takes away from the joy that you have in your own life and your own achievements. In this case, it's less about stealing away your joy But I think that the act of comparing yourself to others means that they are feeding into your desires of what you may want for your life. Like, think about that for a second. Comparing yourself to others means that they are now having an influence, whether you like it or not, whether they like it or not, in what you want for your life. Like, come on, guys, don't let the things that other people are doing change your plan for your life. At the end of the day, it's your life. And so, why should you be letting other people's journeys be considered better and for what you want for yourself? By all means, I think that it's wonderful to gain inspiration from the people around you and go learn from people more experienced in what you may want to do. But at the end of the day, however it is that you're learning about what other people do, whether it is through coffee chats, through reaching out, through social media, you're only seeing a small snippet of their journey and their experience and their life. And that may not be a realistic depiction of what they had to go through to get to where they are now. And so while they might not be telling you the behind the scenes and the struggles, that will be something that you will have to go through. So there's no point comparing yourself to where someone is right now because you don't know what it took for them to get there. I think that it's important to not craft or edit your whole life path based on what you see around you because I don't think that's the way to build the most fulfilling life for yourself. In terms of building that for yourself, it's really about thinking about your values and breaking down who you are and what you want to achieve and what you want to make out of life, and then figuring out how you're going to get there. And sometimes it is through talking to other people, learning if those are the things that you want to do, starting projects, starting your own things. It's really about taking your life into your hands. And it's not just about, "Oh, let me find a job and then see what's next." Like, be proactive about what you want because the more proactive you are and the more that you put out to the world that you want things and that you're gonna work hard for them, that's when the opportunities will come your way. And I think that's so amazing to be living in a world where there are so many opportunities that it's hard to make decisions. Like the fact that we get to live in a world where there are so many various things that we could do at a given time, isn't that awesome? Like, you'll never run out of things to do. And you also don't have to stick with one thing for your entire life. That's the nice thing about it, is that you can do something, and if you decide that that's not right for you, switch to something else. Maybe that will stick for a good 5, 10 years, and maybe you've decided you want to make another switch. Like, I feel like in the generation that we live in now, there's so much more flexibility in terms of being able to switch your plan. And I feel like there's been a popularity recently on the internet and on social media about restarting your life at age 25, 30, 35, whatever the age is, but just being like, oh, having a realization of that's not what I wanted to do. So let's actually start building it. And obviously that's not going to look the same for everyone, but in a way, starting to create and craft the life that you want to live now is so awesome because it is ever evolving, ever changing. The plan that you make now does not need to stick forever. And we get so much time to make the most of every opportunity that comes our way. Like, isn't that awesome? And so I think coming into this like chapter of life, it's like very interesting because we're saying goodbye to everything that we know, but also it's like actually realizing just how much is out there waiting for us. And I think that's so beautiful and so wonderful, and we should be so excited for it. So yeah, and with that, I hope that today's episode gave you something interesting to think about in terms of what your plan is, what your path is, in terms of reflecting on if you've been looking at other people, where you're getting your inspiration from, how your conversations are helping you work towards what you want for yourself. And yeah, I think it's just so wonderful. So, as always, don't forget, you are amazing, you are loved, and I thank you for being here.